Good evening, welcome to another day of Dota 2. We are gonna watch some CAS Dota. Should be some good ones. Of course, you'll be watching the excellent Moscow Cup. We're gonna continue with our round-robin group stages. 11 teams are in the group, and everybody will play each other once. And then at the end of the group stages, the 4 teams that are on top of that group will be moving on to the LAN finals in Moscow. Now, we're gonna start off today with the Retry taking on Relax. Both of these teams, actually only Relax. We're gonna see Relax another time today up against Virtus.pro. And yeah, let's just take a look at what they're gonna draft. Of course, for this game, I am not by myself. I am once again joined by G Advance. Welcome back.
Sup? Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be here. I like both these teams. I'm kind of, I'm a little bit of a Relax fan now that I've seen a little bit more of this team working together. But that said, the Retry have actually been doing pretty well recently, so I expect this to be a pretty good game.
Yeah, we've seen 3 games so far from both of the teams. The Retry has got game won and 2 games lost, while for Relax it's the other way around, so 2 games won, 1 game lost. That means that after this series it's either going to be Relax that is just way further ahead, or it's going to be even 2-2. And I mean, you said it, they've been looking pretty strong lately, and even though they've only won 1 game, basically all the games that we've seen, or most of the games that we've seen, I should say, have been just strong play from each team, and a lot of fighting as well, which is something that both of these teams are kind of known for. I mean, it is CAS Dota after all, and these 2 teams are like reincarnation CAS Dota, like they're the legit thing, even though a lot of other teams can almost claim that as well. I guess Power Rangers would be one of them, but Relax and the Retry, they make the whole reputation of CAS Dota legit.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say, like, both of these teams, they've got, I mean, fairly well-known players, people like Dread, Tamo Wild, PGG, who all just sort of embody this kind of craziness that can be in some of these CAS games. That said, Relax already seeming to first pick up the Naga Siren here. Now, part of that is, I think, due to their bans. They take out the Centaur, which is not a hero we see banned that often, but we see first picked pretty commonly. So it almost looks like they're trying to change this up, run something different. But the Retry, I mean, they pick up some pretty good pushing heroes, pretty good team fighters. Invoker, Shadow Shaman, they can get stuff done early. Naga Siren, not so much, although she can be used in different roles.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm a bit surprised by the Retry's first pick up Shadow Shaman. I mean, we've seen Invoker picked or banned first a lot of the time, so I'm not really surprised about that. But Shadow Shaman this early, in terms of him being okay against Naga Siren, of course, you can instantly get rid of Illusion later on in the game, which is okay-ish, but you're still going to have to deal with 2. You can zap, so you know instantly which one is the real one. Ether Shock, of course, make sure that, if you level it up, that is, make sure that you know which one is the real Naga Siren. But it's an interesting hero to pick up this early. Of course, Naga is not really a BKB hero, so perhaps that's part of the reason. Could also be that they are setting up for something like a stronger pushing lineup, or for a duo/tri-lane with that Shadow Shaman in that lineup.
Yeah, I think right now, the way I see this is, if you pick up push, generally you need some team fight behind it. So if you pick up Shadow Shaman Invoker right away, that's like both of those things right there. Invoker, a great long-range team fighter. He can do a lot of work just from the back of the fight and make it very hard for Relax to actually fight and defend their towers, because his AoE, he can be used from so far away, and it's very wide range, particularly on things like EMP, which, I mean, as soon as it goes off, that's basically a huge area, basically a whole lane that you just can't run into anymore. So I think it's an interesting combo to draft first. Like you said, I'm a little bit surprised that Shadow Shaman draft immediately. The thing about Shadow Shaman is he's definitely flavor of the month right now, but his skill set, I mean, he still suffers from all the problems he had before, right? He's not been buffed in any major way. He's still needs to max his Ether Shock, which is expensive on mana. He needs 1 point at least in his other 2 spells, which are expensive on mana. And his ulti is also extremely expensive on mana. He suffers a lot as a support hero because he just needs too many items. And that can be an issue for him. That said, if you are running him just in a push strat with an Invoker behind, you can get away with just throwing out wards and then being like, back to base, guys, see ya, and just walking off.
Yeah, and depending on what else they're going to pick up, perhaps they want to go for an Invoker on a safe lane, aggressive tri-lane, and Shadow Shaman mid. It is still possible. Dazzle picked up next to the Naga Siren. I don't think that would come as a surprise to anybody. I mean, Naga and Dazzle is just a strong
Reserve
combination,
time.
and we've seen Dazzle so much lately. He's just also one of those flavor of the month heroes. I have to say, I am interested to seeing how the roles are going to be
Radiant
distributed
team
for the
ban.
retry as far as their players go. Now, we've seen them play with the stand-in a few times, where PGG ended up going mid. The previous game that we saw of the retry, it was PGG mid on the Windrunner. That did not work out.
Dire team.
That did not work out. The Windrunner ended up having a pretty hard time for them. ZXC is now on their team, and he was previously the mid for Power Rangers before Scandal started joining them. So I don't know.
I think it's him
Like
mid
you said,
again
they've got a lot of people who can do different roles.
Yeah, and he was, of course, one of the people that at some point was not here, so they had a stand-in, and then PGG was probably the only one left to go mid.
10 seconds.
Yeah, that's
remaining.
probably it for them. I mean, the retry, like you say, they have a lot.
5
They
seconds
they can
remaining.
change up their lanes a little. Right now, though, they're drafting themselves into a very hardcore push
Reserve
strat
time.
already. Both their support heroes, the Shadow Shaman and the Chen, those are early pushing heroes, mid-game pushing heroes. They're very good in team fights. They've got pretty good sustain. They don't have a huge amount of damage between them unless you trap somebody within the Shadow Shaman wards. So that might be an issue for them. But so far, I kind of like the retries draft. Relax, of course. They're going for what is probably a safer draft, a more traditional draft, with Dazzle and Nagasire, and so they have their classic hard carry, and then a support who can keep him sustainable in lane. Now they pick up the Shadow Demon, though. They have a ton of illusions. I do worry that this combo of heroes is very defensive, though.
It's a bit gimmicky as well. I mean, you can make it aggressive if you have that Dazzle Shadow Weaves healed up or leveled up a bit. You can, of course, go for
That's
the weave.
not reliable, though,
But
is
it
it?
is not reliable at all,
I don't know.
especially not since the retry has not selected a carry yet, and if they choose to go for a lifestealer, well, good
10
luck.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, or even a hero who just doesn't care about, say if
5
they
seconds
they tried to
remaining.
trap him, if it's something like a Weaver, what does this tri-lane really do versus that? Even if they put down a
Reserve
sentry,
time.
they can't lock him down. The Naga net just takes too long to actually hit, and as soon as you're completely invis, it doesn't actually hit you. It's not like some stuns where it will still hit you once you've gone invis. So yeah, I feel like this tri-lane for them, it probably is a tri-lane. They could pick up something like a Mirana, combo that with the Shadow Demon, but for the moment, it looks like a tri-lane because Nagasire needs a lot of help in the lane, and yeah, it's gimmicky and it doesn't have much in the way of hard killing power. There's no Sven stun or anything like that, you know what I mean, that could really initiate and just say, the person who gets hit by that is now completely screwed.
Yeah, I have to say, I was expecting a Weaver pickup because they needed the retry needs an off lane as well as a safe lane carry. And they pick up the Timbersaw, which is an okay-ish hero. He can get rid of illusions pretty fast, of course. But he still, if he doesn't get that off in time, if he's, for example, out of mana, he'll take a lot of damage from that weave.
10 seconds.
He will do, but he does build up armor, which is nice, and the illusions,
5
early
seconds
on,
remaining.
the illusion damage that they do will probably counteract. It will probably be counteracted by the fact that he's actually gaining armor. So yeah, it looks like Relax will do
Radiant team
dual
ban.
lanes here.
Or Naga
Although they
mid.
could just rotate. They could do a Naga mid, that's definitely something they can do. She will struggle a little bit with farming consistently against the Invoker, because Invoker can kill her once he's got a few levels.
10 seconds
Yeah, I
remaining.
think Naga mid would probably be the best option for them. It depends what the last pickup here for the retry is, though. I think if they get a carry that can
Dire
really
team
put the
ban.
hurt on them too early and can push with that, Relax seem to be in a bit of an odd situation here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do last. Now, of course, we have seen, I think 2 days ago, EG
Radiant
going for
team
Dazzle on a
pick.
solo safe lane. So who knows? Maybe we're gonna have something like that. We have actually Clockwork removed by the retry, so they are expecting either Mirana or Naga mid. Assuming that Clockwork is indeed an off lane, or at least a solo lane ban hero. I say off lane, but Relax could actually try to go for an aggressive tri-lane as well. With the Chen in the
They
jungle,
could.
they can actually force... They can force those supports to
Dire
hang
team
around the
pick.
tri-lane a little bit more, which is, they're not going to get anything else off it apart from stopping the Chen from getting extra experience in that jungle, which is the biggest thing that the retry at the moment have over the side of Relax. Last pickup, Shadow Fiend, means that we're probably going to see Shadow Fiend on the farming side with Invoker on the mid. unless they want to really switch it up, which really depends on what hero we're gonna see in the mid for Relax. But
10
I'm
seconds
not
remaining.
entirely convinced. I mean, in terms of late game Naga
5
Siren, if that is
seconds
a carry
remaining.
hero, which for now we're gonna assume that it is, then Naga Siren should in theory be able to outlast the Retry.
Yeah, I think the big thing though is that right now, Relax, they have 4 heroes who can do a fair amount. Shadow Demon is a little bit defensive, but he can set up for the Mirana, so they'll use that aggressively. The thing is the Retry, all of these heroes are excellent mid-game fighting heroes. They can do a lot of work during the mid-game. Shadow Fiend's a very good team fighter. Timbersaw, Invoker, and Chen and Shadow Shaman backing them up. They have a fair amount of disable with them. I feel like the problem for me is that Relaxed, they look a little bit weak on damage right now. Until they get up, a few more items on the Naga Siren, she's not going to be contributing anything. She'll probably won't even turn up for the fight.
10 seconds
Axe
remaining.
and Mirana, Dazzle, Shadow, none of them have reliable sustained damage that they can put out. The Dazzle can do a fair amount of burst if they do get the illusions on a Shadow Wave hit, and the Mirana can get a nice arrow, but I don't know, they have the Chen Sen back, so the arrow combo shouldn't be too deadly during the mid-game. I fear for Relax in this game, just because the Retry's lineup all sort of comes online is ready to fight at once.
I'm interested to see how they're gonna run their lanes though, because I feel like with Chaklo, who's normally the offlane hero for Relax, if he's gonna go to shields and go behind the tier 1 tower on the bottom lane and be supported by one extra hero, or maybe even 2, there's a lot of things possible for Relax. They could even take a fairly early tower and get some extra gold up that way. I wouldn't put it all in the basket of the Retry straight away. The Relax has got a pretty solid lineup, and I think that Axe is a decent hero to go with as their last pick. It could be kind of risky, as you mentioned, but it is not bad.
Yeah, I would definitely say if Relax do go for the more risky play here, which is going for an aggressive tri-lane, leaving possibly their Naga or their Mirana on their own, and actually, maybe putting the Shadow Demon, the Dazzle, and the Axe together and going very aggressive, the nice thing for them is that the Retry have 3 heroes who do nothing, well, almost nothing at level 1, which, I mean, Shadow Shaman, he can either do a tiny bit of harass damage with Ether Shock, or he can have a very good, but, interruptible disable with Shackles. Shadow Fiend, of course, does nothing level 1, and Chen, he can get himself a creep. So I think if they do go for that creep skip, that's good, but that still leaves the Naga Siren either going up solo versus the Invoker or the Timbersaw.
Yeah.
Timbersaw will make her lane very hard, and she won't farm that well, which means they have to win their aggressive tri-lane very well, and possibly even the Mirana has to get a fair amount of farm, because otherwise they're going to be underfarmed, underleveled, and then there's going to be a Timbersaw coming out at the 10-minute mark who's going to wreck everybody on Relax.
Was Relax a team that also sometimes went for the dual lane mid? Because that could be an option for them as well.
I
If
think
they
they've
wanna
done it
shut
a
down-
couple of times.
They
I'm
could
not
actually,
sure.
they could put Axe on the safe lane solo to go up against the Timbersaw, which is a pretty okay-ish lineup for him. It's not ideal by any stretch, but he'll be able to survive. And then go for dual lanes on the other 2 lanes, making sure that both CXZ and Invoker are kind of maybe shut down.
Possibly. I think it's hard to execute though. I feel like their safest option as far as actually making sure that they get the kills is always to have 3 people in a lane. Go for that aggressive tri-lane rather than the dual lanes, because the thing with dual lanes is that you can it's very easy to make a small mistake and then lose a lot from it. Whereas if you have a tri-lane, if you make a small mistake positioning wise, the champ not going to die from it just because you have such an advantage in the lane. Whereas if you have a dual lane and you dive a tower at the wrong point, or make some other mistake, the Retry will turn around and kill you, even with heroes like Shadow Fiend in the lane. I don't know about this. Relax have an interesting lineup. You look at them initially and they look very traditional, but they can do a lot of different things with it. I think that'll be the interesting thing. I think we're going to see, immediately they're going to go and try to get the level 1 engagement. That's definitely their best shot right now. If they get an engagement before creeps have spawned in the enemy jungle, the Retry are screwed because they don't have anybody who's good at level 1. Maybe Timbersaw. I mean, Invoker doesn't do anything. None of their heroes really do at level 1. So the Retry have to be careful here.
Yeah. So we have got another pause coming out. Why do we have a pause? Chen pause. This time the retry pause. We can already take a look at who is playing what while we wait for everybody to actually be ready. Why? Oh, God. I went for the... I can't zoom out. I went for the view of
Why can't you zoom out?
I went for the cinematic view, and now I zoomed out, or at least put it off, and then I'm like very close. Oh,
I
never
can
mind.
still
I fixed it.
Unzoom.
I fixed it. My unzoom does not work.
I don't think it was
Well,
broken. I don't understand what the problem was.
Well,
How
it
did
was
you-
broken, but it was fixed.
Alright.
Okay, so for
Okay.
Relax, they are on the dire side for this game. They are the team that has got 2 wins so far, 1 loss. And later today we will see them go up against the Virtus Pro. So that should be an interesting match as well. But Relax so far, 2 wins, 1 loss. They're going to see if they can make it a 3 wins, 1 loss today. Or maybe actually 4 wins, 1 loss, because they want to win both of their games, obviously. Yoki will play the Naga Siren on his way towards the bottom lane together with the rest of his team. And he's actually the last one out of the fountain. We're going to have Dread. He'll play the Shadow Demon. Windex will play the Dazzle. Shaklo on the Axe, as already mentioned. He is normally the offlaner for the team, so we're curious to see how they're going to go about their laning. Tama Wild, the player that normally is on the middle lane, will be on the Marana. And Marana mid, we're going to see that because both Invoker as well as... Well, unless Invoker is not going Exort, which could be the case. But if Invoker is going Exort, Marana is not going to have an easy time last hitting against him. Same thing goes for Shadow Fiend, of course. But that's everybody for Relax. They're on the dire side, and we're still paused. So I'll leave the retry for you.
Yeah, on the side of the retry, the team captain, of course, it is PGG here. He's going to be on the Shadow Shaman for his team, playing as a support. ZXC here, the Shadow Fiend, normally a mid player, but possibly we're going to see him on the safe lane here. Not sure entirely yet what they're going to do for that, but the other support for the team is going to be Android P. He's on the Chen. Nexus looks like he will be going to the safe lane here, is going to be on the Invoker, and last but not least, their off lane for the team, it's going to be Paradise. Is that a fake name?
Or
Is
a
that
new
is
one.
that somebody else's name?
I think
Or is it a new player? Let me just check.
it could be. Look at Marana hiding in the trees. Oh, she's running again. Look at her go. Don't worry, guys. I have a look at the minimap. They are not running into anybody just yet.
Alright, yeah, he really is just a new player for the side of the retry here. So, yeah, it looks like the retry, maybe they're going to try and dodge this tri lane here.
They see him. Disruption will come out from Dread. There we go. Shaklo around there as well, waiting for the Berserker's call, and that's going to be a heal and a kill. First blood on the board, and that is how fast things can go bad for the retry. Relax, they've got a brilliant combination. That heal, I mean, of course, with 2 illusions of the Shadow Demon Disruption, there already, the Shadow Weave is going to do a lot of extra damage, but with the Axe right there as well, like, there's really very little you can do, and it does look like we're going to see an aggressive tri-lane here with an Axe, and a Disruptor, and a Shadow Demon. No Disruptor, but that's the guy that actually disrupt, that is Shadow Demon and Dazzle. I was going to say, that's 4 heroes, it doesn't fit, doesn't add up. Means we have a safe
It's a
lane
4-person
Naga.
aggressive tri lane.
Yeah. Ooh, vision up the high ground. PGG reveals that the Shackle comes out as well. Test of Faith, maybe.
There's no creep though.
The right clicks might be enough. Shadow Demon. Disruption coming out, but the Weave now on cooldown. That's a bit of a shame. They're trying to block him in. Not able to do so. Windex might be in some trouble. 6 seconds before he can heal again. PGG is going to be able to be okay. Arrow flying in and actually getting a kill. Oh my god. Tama
What a
Wild
player.
from downtown. Yeah, I've never said it actually for real. Only like for trollish. Maybe I should try to do it for real sometimes.
I did it one time and it just felt silly. But yeah, that arrow does manage to hit there, and I mean, maybe a small miscommunication there, because that arrow seemed like it came through mid, so it would have
It
been
did,
seen,
yeah.
but yeah, this aggressive tri lane for them so far, it's worked out well, and like I said, the biggest issue for the retries lineup is that level 1, they're awful. They have nobody on their lineup who's any good. The nice thing for them, though, is that this aggressive tri lane, like I said before, it does leave the Timbersaw up solo versus Yoki, and Yoki will struggle in this lane. He does not have good base damage, he can't really hurt the Timbersaw too much, but it looks like they're trying to gank him right now. Chen has actually disappeared into the enemy jungle with PGG here.
Yeah.
They'll maybe try and go on Tamo Wild, but he is not an easy kill, and ZXC is not going to add
They're gonna
much
go
to
for the
this
courier.
attempt.
It's a bottle courier as well. PGG.
Oh, this is a big one.
In the meantime, Arrow does hit on the Shadow Fiend. Let's see if the Courier is going to die. PGG.
He's not going to get it at
Not
this
gonna
rate.
get it. ZXC is not going to die either, though,
Dire's
as
middle
actually,
tower is
it's not
under
over just yet. Courier, where are you going to go? Piggy, 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 run. Dude. Oh, Micro, Shackle. I mean, that's still going to be Shadow Shaman dead because you can't tank towers, and the Courier is going to sit around and be safe. Sorry, I was following the Courier. I was way more interested in the Courier than seeing Shadow Shaman tank up tower hits and die.
Admittedly, the Courier means a lot more at this stage of the game, and it's perfectly fine now. He hasn't microed it back yet, just because they're actually going for kills here. Dread is actually running in very aggressively here. This Satire does a fair amount of damage level 1 though, so yeah, he has to try and make his way out, and luckily, because of that first blood, he does have boots, so he's okay. And yeah, it seems like Relax, they've managed to get their early lead up already. That said, Nexus is now going to be 1v1 versus Shacklo. He is going Wex Quas Exhort, and they're actually going to pressure the Timbersaw here. I think this is the correct decision. They've already got as much as they can from this, and soon, if they stayed in that aggressive tri-lane, these Chen creeps would start being too difficult for them to deal with. Chen creeps level 1 are way stronger than a normal hero.
Yeah, that is definitely true, as Taeman Wild is going to try to go on PGG here. In comes Battle Longer as well. Shacklo, super mighty fast. Berserker's Call coming out. That's PGG dead. One more hit. Mirana actually takes it. The stomp from the Centaur coming in too late, but then again, he couldn't go for it earlier. And actually, Chen might still be in some trouble as well. Dread walks right into him. Is he going to be able to go on this one? He has got a Soul Catcher as well as a Disruption, but the
Nah,
Axe is
there's
not
no
close
help
by.
close enough.
Well, he might be able to solo this. Soul Catcher. Mirana. Oh, there's a teleporting coming. Shadow Shaman teleporting from the tier 3 to the tier 2. He is not going to break enough trees to actually get out, though.
He might be able to use a spell over the top of this. Shadow Shaman's Shackles are on a fairly short range,
It's
but
the only thing
he
that he
might
has,
be
though,
able
the
to
shackle.
do it. That's true, but the Centaur Conqueror is going to turn around afterwards. I don't know, PGG... this is an interesting fight here. I feel like Android P, the Chen, should just be able to walk out, but... I don't know, Relax seem to be dominating already in this game, and I think it's because of the good rotations of their supports and how they've been playing, but the Retry have made a
Centaur
couple of
has got a
serious
stun again in 3
mistakes so
seconds, by
far.
the way. Sorry.
He does.
This could be troublesome. The Soul Catcher on there. Is there enough damage? Right clicks coming out is not enough. The Centaur, the Shackle, Sunstrike coming in as well. Dread is going to be the first one of the team of Relax to actually fall and give a kill to Nexus, who is indeed a Quas Exort Invoker, a hero that, like, as Exort, I mean, Quas Wex has been the normal build. Exort? Interesting build. And I have to say, I'm not sure if I totally agree with that, but...
Well,
got a
they
kill,
do have
so-
the Shadow Shaman. And Shadow Shaman, he has very long duration lockdown, so he is good for setting up... what a Sunstrike.
It was still on
All
cooldown
right.
from the previous time.
Yeah, PGG just kind of walked into the axe there. I don't think he expected the axe to be walking around that corner just then.
No.
Otherwise, they probably would have got that kill, but yeah, just slightly bad timing for them. And with Sunstrike off cooldown, they just sort of throw it, and they had no chance of getting that in the end.
Yeah, Shadow Demon coming in, mid lane, Soul Catcher as well as an Arrow, and that's going to be Arrow on the edge though, but Starstorm and another kill, dominating. This is a Miranda that is 4-0-0 at 4 minutes into the game, 4.5 minutes into the game. This is insane. Miranda, I think we've said it before in previous games, where we say, like, okay, she's not a great farmer, she gets her farms from heroes in the mid game. Well, she gets her farm from heroes in the early game as well. PGG in some trouble,
PGG.
actually, as the Soul Catcher is already on him, and he will go down here. One more hit is going to do the trick. And it's going to be Shadow Demon that takes the kill, actually, instead of Shacklo, but it is, again, a kill on that Shadow Shaman, who has died 5 times out of the 6 kills that Relax has.
Yeah, and I feel like the real issue, if we look at how this is all happening, they're not pressuring Nexus at all. They're not really even pressuring Paradise up on the top lane too much. They're giving him a bit of harass now, but he looks like he's going to be okay.
Oh, I'm not
They're just
sure.
pressuring the supports.
Careful.
This is pretty
Poison,
close, actually,
4
yeah.
seconds for the poison of Windex. Paradise has not got mana for another Timber Chain. If Windex can get his poison off, that might be a
Nah,
kill, but he
he's
couldn't
okay.
get a range anymore. No boots for
Bottom
him.
lane, though. Or Dread.
Disruption, perfectly timed. Dread, stick charges, keep him up for a little while longer. The creeps are chasing him down, but Moonlight Shadow will actually make sure that his escape is secure. Shackle is thinking about going back in. He has got his Culling Blade, so he wants to try and make something happen. Dread actually went back as well. No
Dire's
life.
middle tower
They
is
want to
under
just take
attack.
down
Oh, he's
PGG
gonna start
again.
spinning on all of them.
Marana there as well. Starstorm, that's 1 down. 2 down. Dunk heaven for Shaklo. Double kill for him.
Yeah, and this is one of those heroes. Axe is a great hero at this early stage of the game, and the fact is that the retry, they just need a few more levels on their heroes. I mean, the Chen does not do a huge amount at this point. He doesn't have 2 creeps up, and neither does the Shadow Shaman. He only is level 2 at this point. Shaklo is closer to level 7. I feel like the early kill on PGG just started this ball rolling for Relax here, and they do have to kind of rely on this snowball because I feel like the mid game on the side of the retry is so much stronger. The problem is that can they get to that mid game, because the Shadow Fiend's feeling a fair amount of pressure. The Timbersaw is going to have to be their ace in the hole here. He's not doing badly on this off lane here. He's not exactly farming up a ton, but he is probably their best hero with sort of minimal to okay farm.
Well, at
Unlike a
this
Shadow
point,
Fiend who needs a BKB.
like, okay, you have a Shadow Shaman, right, who has died 6 times out of the 8 kills that the enemy has. Basically, he is feeding right now, and his team
Oh yeah.
is not going to be, like, rather than, oh, wait a second, they're going to try to go for the Naga. Naga is level 6, but the Sunstrike will pick her off. Actually, Timbersaw gets a kill, so that's a good rotation. Because I was going to
smart
say,
rotation for them.
like, if you're not getting the levels that you need, why not just play passive for a while? They've been moving around so much. Talking about moving around with all the supports top, this is actually going to be Nexus in some trouble. Shaklo is thinking about coming
Any
back in.
TPs?
4
If he gets
stacks.
a TP, this will be a counter kill.
Well, 4 stacks of the 5. Yeah, that's a kill right there. 5 stacks of Shadow Poison. That's a lot of damage. Shaklo is still taking a lot of damage there, but he should be able to be okay. There's 20 seconds before Invoker can try to summon something, as Marana gets another kill. I mean, gets an arrow. Starstorm level 4. He's actually leveling his arrow over the leap, which is not something that's done often, I have to say. In the meantime,
No,
on the top lane,
I would
Naga
level arrow over leap.
song. I've been told by professional gamers, I don't know which one, but leveling arrow over leap is not going to do you much good. The leap is, like, the positioning is so important for Marana that you would probably,
Yeah.
like, the positioning advantage from leap that you get by leveling up leap over arrow is better than the damage difference that you get from the arrow. Even though the damage is quite okay-ish, the leap, in theory, should be better for positioning, as Nexus is in trouble once again. He is hiding in the tree line. Dread is actually taking a large beating here from the tower. Sunstrike. Boom.
Ooh, what a sunstrike that one. And Dread was trying to dodge that one as well. So Nexus, yeah, understandably happy with himself here. He needs some help, though, because as soon as his creeps get here, he'll be able to fight underneath this tower. Yeah, the TPs are coming now.
Yeah, this is the Timbersaw. Should be
Oh,
maybe
Moonlight
the
Shadow,
table
though.
turner. Is it enough? Moonlight Shadow and Paradise cannot make anything happen. Paradise, who has got mana boots, sure, but in terms of net worth, is still very, very, very sad, actually. At least they denied the tower. In the meantime, on the top lane, Shadow Shaman is going to shackle Yoki, and that actually could turn into a kill right here. Yoki is going to get the kill as well, but I think that's a worthy trade.
Worth.
PKG actually making a worthy trade. As Nexus is gonna try to go for a Sunstrike, get Shaklo with it, but I don't think he's gonna save his own life for that one. Culling Blade gets cancelled and gets cancelled again, and now Shaklo is dead. Nexus will still die, but that's another trade that I would say favors the retry. However, at the same time, in the mid lane, Marana goes to town once again, gets himself another kill on the Shadow Fiend, who so far
He's
has
going to go
died
on
3
Android
times.
P possibly as well, but he's too low on mana for this. This is difficult for him to do. He's only got an arrow or Starstorm. He hasn't got both.
Boom. Well, he doesn't need both. Needs the arrow. One more hit needed. There you go. Wicked sick for him. 0 deaths and 7 kills, 2 assists. He is really, really, really scary at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said earlier, Marana is a hero farmer, not a creep farmer. She's not great at farming creeps. Her base damage is not great, but her overall damage that she can do with the Starstorm Sacred Arrow is huge. And the thing for Relax right now is that whilst this early game is going pretty well for them, their one hero that really these heroes are trying to create space for, Yoki, he's not actually farming that great. He's actually below the Axe as far as net worth right now.
Shackle,
He's
Tame
still
a
above
while.
most
Wicked
people,
sick
but
streak gonna go down. Starstorm coming out. Oh, that axe and the blink dagger. That axe with the blink dagger. He jumped in, goes for the Berserker Skull. Then Marana knows that nothing is attacking her anymore, so just leaps in. Actually, looked like it. And then just Starstorms and kills happening left and right. Shadow Shaman on the bright side is only level 4, so he's already back alive.
Yeah, this Axe is really there. He's doing so much work for them right now. They're going to try and go in Paradise here. They're probably going to get him. They're going for the cool.
This is no real competition anymore, at least not for that kill, not with this Axe being so big. He's level 9, which is, you know, it's an okay level. I'm actually just checking. Look at the difference in levels.
He's top. Oh no, Tame My Wild is actually top. He's very big as well.
And the
but
supports
unlike
of the
him,
Retry
he's not as
still level
reliable.
4. 5 now for Shadow Shaman. But Chen's still level 4. His Hand of God, the mechanism, you pick up a Chen because you get experience in the jungle that the other team might not get. You get some creeps which are awesome, and to be honest, his creeps have done a quite okay job in the early stages of the game. But he's not been able to farm. He has not got anything in terms of getting closer towards his mechanism, and his level 6 is not there yet either. Moonlight Shadow, actually, Marana, thinking about going on some supports here. Of course, level 4 supports are quite a tasty bite, but by herself, not sure if she can do that, and actually they just saw her.
Yeah, they're thinking about going in mid as well, actually. Axe dunks the Shadow Fiend, and yeah, that's another strong initiation for them. This is the reason the Axe is actually a bigger menace right now than Tame My Wild. He's just more reliable.
I know that there were kills happening bottom. I just want to see what Tame My Wild was doing. Now in comes Windex. Nice block! Perfect block by Android. That Dazzle could have gotten maybe a poison touch in, and then there would have been another kill, but the block made sure that Windex didn't get any range. But yeah, X gets himself a kill on the Shadow Fiend at the same time. But that was just perfectly played from that Marana. Or, I say perfectly played. It was, if I was that person, I would probably run like hell. But she was very confident and knowing that she wasn't going to die. As, look at that, relaxed, gathering up. 4 people in the same lane.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to make as much fights as possible, because right now, the great thing for them is that anybody that gets cooled by Shaklo is just a guaranteed kill at this point. The arrows are easy to hit, they have so much damage and so many levels and farm over them. The Retry, they just fall apart. Anybody that gets initiated on by this Axe, and yeah, they're just trying to catch people out here. The Retry are grouped up trying to farm and maybe get themselves something,
coming
but
out of the map.
yeah, I mean, they want to fight right now. Relax knows exactly how strong they are, and in the meantime, Yoki is not being pressured, so yeah, the Retry are starting to lose this even more seriously than they were before, at least before they were pressuring him.
Yeah, it's gonna be PG that goes down first here. Leap away, Sunstrike didn't hit anything because nobody was on the retreat, which was something that Invoker was probably counting on. But, I mean, with everybody looking at that part of the fight, I mean, Shaklo was just taking out a tower. 2,400 gold. Having a blink dagger already, it's 14 minutes into the game. No problem. This is starting to look very, very grim for the Retry.
Yeah, and the Retry, they're going into emergency mode right now. Both the Invoker and the Shadow Fiend have both gone for a Hand of Midas because they're so far behind on levels and farm from where they should be that they've decided this is an absolute necessity for them. So their only tactic right now is try and get the game, stalled up, don't let as many kills go, and try to fight it in the late game. But that's not exactly a reliable strategy because, relax, they are working with a Naga Siren on their team. She has enough money for her relic right now. It's not going to be the fastest Radiance by any stretch, but it'll be faster than anybody on their team's going to get major items, and in the meantime, Tame My Wild, he's just going to get another kill here. He's even going for more. He might get these 2 as well.
Oh, he actually leaps into the... Oh, thank you, Paradise, for getting rid of the trees. PGG is going to be able to make it out for now, but it's going to be Paradise that is a higher prior kill anyway. Oh, Tame My Wild, they get the godlike streak. Shadow Fiend actually gets the gold. They still got the Timber Saw, and perhaps they get ZXC as well. But he already got extra gold. He's already picked up his Minthral Hammer with that as well. Shaklo, Sunstrike, not going to be enough to take him down. I mean, they still got a triple kill on Dread, which is great and all that, but losing a godlike streak on a Marana is a big thing.
Yeah, it's a big deal for them. Nexus is trying to do what he can here, but yeah, the Retry, they basically have to get a ton of kills right now. They have to turn around a fight like that even harder. It's nice that ZXC got all that extra, but he's only putting it into a Mithril Hammer here, so he's just going to be just as squishy. He'll do more damage, but they need more than just a little bit right now. They need a ton. They're behind by a ridiculous amount right now. The gold is over 10k, experience over 10k as well. Relax just dominate this map right now. Yeah, and it's only 15 minutes in, so Relax just dominate this map right now. this game is pretty much in the bag for them, but the retry, at the very least, you know, if they can keep things going, they should be able to catch up a little bit, maybe even get ahead a bit with their Hands of Midas, but
then not.
but there's an Aga Siren, and
She
that's
already has a
Relax's
relic as
insurance
well.
policy this game.
Exactly, and the insurance policy of the retry is not really there, to be honest. I mean, you might be able to get your Shadow Fiend really fat, but he's still not going to be able to burst through the illusions of Naga with the heart, with the Radiance at some point fast enough. And the Radiance is almost done. As Moonlight Shadow is coming out. There is a sentry ward down though. So Marana has to be careful. She's also by herself while the rest of her team is on the other side. They're actually going to find someone. Disruption is there as
they're
well.
gonna
The
get
call.
pincered.
Paradise. The dunk is there. Killing spree for Shaklo. Arrow will miss. But I'm not sure if it's going to be mattering. DXC, not even going to get his ultimate off. Shackle's still going to be there for Dread, but it's not going to be enough. PGG will die. Blinken, a call from Shaklo again, and dunk. Triple kill for him. Looking for an ultra kill, but it's going to be Nexus that is the last one alive, and he is already in the fountain. Free gold.
Yeah, that was only the level 6 wards as well. We're 17 minutes in, and Shadow Shaman, that's the first time I think he's
Yeah, he
used
did.
the Mass Serpent Wards, and it did
Correct.
nothing for them.
They didn't even get a single kill in that fight either. They were completely out of position. And they didn't, I mean, this was a 4-on-5 fight, right?
Yeah. They need a 3-on-5, maybe they can win those. They might still lose people if it's the Axe initiating. It's
know what?
difficult for them, very difficult.
If I was Yoki in this game, I would be very annoyed. This is the reason I don't play carry. Because while the rest of your team is having fun and killing people, you're just farming and having to farm for more. And that's all he's doing. By the time that he's done farming, the game will be over. By the looks of things, as an arrow here hits on PGG, he's gonna get picked up. Chen was already dead. Can they get someone else as well? Shaklo has not got enough mana for his Berserker's Call, so won't really be able to jump
has
in.
now.
Actually, he has now. He doesn't even need it anymore. Timo Wild has already done the job. He is back on a killing spree soon, I'd say. Or one more kill for a killing spree, I guess. But that's, again, 3 heroes dead. Chen already back alive because Chen is still level 5. No Hand of God on the map just yet.
Jesus.
Oh, yay! Yoki, come! Join the fight, dude! Yay! Radiance!
Yeah, I mean, Yoki, the funny thing is Radiance is going to do so much damage to the side of the retry right now. 60 damage a second from that source. Not even that, actually. Is 60... Wait, 50 damage now? I'm so confused over it. Radiance's damage has changed so much recently, I don't even know how much it does. But it's still just going to burn through these heroes on the retry. Shadow Shaman doesn't even have 1,000 HP. They have very few heroes, in fact, who do. Only 3 of their heroes have 1,000 HP at this point. They'll be just burned through, and I
If you
mean,
set the
they haven't
illusions on
needed it
Chen,
until this
he'll
point.
die. Basically.
Yeah, pretty much he will die. I mean, the illusions aren't very tanky though, so maybe the retry they can kill them pretty fast, especially because they, you know, the damage on the retry isn't that bad. The problem is that they're so far behind as far as items is concerned, and they just have no survivability themselves. They just get instantly killed off. They're trying to split up and, you know, protect their base right now, but Relax are just sort of eating through their tier 2s. I mean, I guess they just want to pad their stats.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you have to try logic. Oh, arrow! Now they have to go in on that. Timo Wild's already on his way. Gets a couple of hits in. Still, Paradise is going to get sent home by the looks of things. And he should be making that alive. Gets a chakram out at least before he goes. But in the meantime, the rest of the team of Relax already committing, actually. ZXC is already dead. Not even time for a Culling Blade for Shaklo. And he can't get it on the Shadow Shaman either because he's already dead as well. And another bunch of free gold wards just sitting there. Timo Wild gladly will take it. He's sitting on 4k extra gold. That is 2 heroes dead, 1 hero sent back to base. And I don't even feel like they're 100% committing yet, not to the buildings anyway.
No, and they don't even need to that much. I mean, I almost feel like the retry should just call it here. They're trying to hold this base out, and maybe they'd have a chance late game. Maybe they would, but the chances of them even making it there are virtually 0. They're going to go on Yoki here. He does actually go down, but now Nexus as well as Paradise are out of position, and Nexus is going to pay with his life.
Yeah, Paradise tries to get them away from the base at least. That's successful. They know where he is.
I mean,
so
he's doing a
disruption.
good job, but he's still dead.
Is he though? He's a Timber Star after all.
He should die.
He has got a Timber Chain again. Goes to the high ground. Shaklo is going to blink in 2 seconds. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Hello. Oh, the Calling Blade missed, so now it's on cooldown for a full minute. I guess, I mean, mission complete for them, though. I mean, they take the heat away from the tier 3 towers, I was gonna say, and then Yoki actually
And then
bought
Nagasiren
back.
is pushing bot. Yeah, he bought back immediately. I'm not sure if it was technically the most sensible decision, but does it even matter at this point? They're so far behind. They're so far behind. They just have nothing. ZXC still doesn't have a BKB. Andrew P has just hit level 6. He's already used his Hand of God. It doesn't even feel noticeable at this point. It's only 200 extra to heal, and Tamar Wild does almost that amount of damage with one right click.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's pretty scary. Mjolnir ready for Mirana. I like the Blink Dagger on Invoker, but at this point it's just not enough. And to be honest, like, even if it was enough, even if they had better items, there's a Naga Siren with the Radiance on the board, and later game you wanna try to delay that as much as possible. So I just don't know what the retry still can do, to be honest. Like, even if they can turtle for a very long time, Naga will eventually get all the towers down. Slow push. That's the way it works.
Yeah, I mean, part of the thinking behind it is because if you go late enough, PGG's walks into an arrow here, he is being sent back, but it doesn't even matter. ZXC is going to be initiated on as well. This looks like the end, I think.
Yeah, Berserker's Call, again a Culling Blade coming out, and now the tier 3 tower, the first one will fall. Gold goes to Naga Siren, gladly for her. She has finally taken something extra. She's taken a lot extra, I guess. But yeah, I mean, the retry, they're not even coming to defend this because they don't know how. Not without the Shadow Fiend. They have to have, like, this perfect scenario. And they can't really do that because, first of all, Shadow Fiend is Requiem of Soul, even though it's level 2 and even though he has a BKB.
Is half souls.
Is half souls. And that's gonna be another arrow that hits. Nice, the War Trap though, but Disruption comes out in the Song actually as well. Songs doesn't work on the creeps, but they'll kill the creeps. And Windex actually lives. And yeah, I don't know what Invoker was thinking, but he wasn't planning on leaving the base anytime soon, so that Sunstrike didn't hit, and Paradise gonna get picked up here as well. Tries to get back to base, but not gonna happen. Requiem of Souls, 16 souls, nope. That's not gonna be doing enough damage, or any damage at all, actually.
Dagon has been picked up here by Dread here.
Yeah,
he's
Shadow
actually level
Demon.
2 as well.
Meteors falling from the sky is enough actually to get the dominating streak away from the Mirana. But yeah, at the same time,
they
that
still
axe,
lose their melee racks for it.
Yeah, and I mean they still lose the fight overall. It's still 8-40. Now, luckily for Shadow Shaman, he is no longer half of his team's deaths, which at some point was the case when Relax was sitting on 20 kills. He was having 10 deaths. But he is still, still died 16
He's
times.
most of them.
He is still
He's
most
a
of
fair
them.
amount right
Yes.
now.
And,
But I think that was a sensible decision from Relax. They focused on the target that they knew they could abuse the most in the
Yeah.
early game. Nobody was
sure.
able to do anything about it.
Oh sure. Shackle on Dread, but Grave comes out and it's gonna be enough. Tamar Wild gets a chance to just stand there and hit Timbersaw. Paradise dies again, and the Shadow Demon dies. Shadow Shaman rather dies again as well. That is 17 deaths. I mean, this.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I would say that's GG well played. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
it's gonna
God!
be-
I speak Russian.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you've just learned literally all of Russian.
Thank you.
There's no part of it you don't understand.
Yeah, that's the way things work here. Cool. I know Russian.
It's pretty sick.
Well, that means that we're gonna soon be seeing our second match of the day. Hopefully a bit more even than this one, because even though this one was enjoyable to some regard, it was a bit of a stomp. We should say
Yeah,
how
and there was
Victor
definitely a
played.
point where I think the retry should have GG just a little bit earlier. But I mean, they kept on trying to defend their base. They did their
They
best,
have
but
to do their namesake justice.
the retry
They keep
again.
trying, always. Never give up, never surrender. Try.
Why don't they just call themselves the Feed then?
No, but that's
Because
rude.
this game, I'm not gonna lie, he got targeted hard by Relax during the early game, and the fact is that nobody else was able to make up for it in the early game because everybody else, whilst they were very mid game centric, they had great mid game, but it doesn't matter
They
if you
never
never
got
get to
there.
that stage of the game. Yeah, and well, I mean they got there about now, but the difference in items they had compared to Relax is enough to the point where it didn't matter.
True. Well, we're gonna see two new teams coming out. It will be Virtus Pro taking on Aware, Afterwards, we're going to see Relax taking on Virtus Pro. So 2 Virtus Pro games in a row. And the winner of this game, of course, we'll see back later on tonight as well. But first, Virtus Pro versus Aware. Now, the official starting time of this game is in 25 minutes. So patience is a virtue. I'll give you some music to listen to while we wait for that game to start. But stick around, and we'll be back with another CAS game of Dota 2. So don't go anywhere.